What do we see when we look at sports kits? We see stretchy, high-tech garments created to help people run, jump and engage in activities which generally transcend the abilities of an ordinary human body. Sometimes, we don't see the uniform at all, transfixed by the thrill of achievement and competition on our screens. When it comes to team sports, all we see are the primary colors that separate us from them, winners from losers. But for something with an ultimately practical purpose, sports kits at World Championships and Olympic Games have always been a significant part of the political spectacle. With World Cup 2018 approaching, football kits are once again at the center of a heated discussion around sports, fashion and politics, in Russia and beyond. There is hardly any group with a recognizable dress code, from club kids to road workers, which hasn't been mined for inspiration by contemporary fashion. In the last couple of years, football garments have become the industry's unlikely obsession. Football jerseys are now a permanent fixture of Fashion Week street style, worn by editors, photographers and influencers for their bold and recognizable aesthetics, bright colors and relaxed vibe. Borrowing from the realm of sports is nothing new. It has happened before with basketball jerseys and Jordan sneakers, baseball caps and skateboarders' Vans. But when the process of commodification moves from the street to the runway, it becomes harder to ignore. In the last couple of seasons, football-inspired garments provided by fashion brands have ranged from jerseys to scarves to sneakers, and appeared in collections by Versace, House of Holland, Batman, Off-White, Cache and Y Project. There are also amusing examples like Les Vêtements de Football, which merge fashion and football branding, bootleg style. When talking about football, it's hard to ignore complex issues of class and masculinity, and fashion's obsession with the game naturally evokes a lot of questions. Tops based on classic 90s football shirts from Vêtements du Football, football-style scarves from Anton Belinsky. Image, Anton Belinsky, Facebook football-style scarves from Volchik. Image, Volchik/@shine.blue/Facebook. Most editors wouldn't be seen dead eating a puck pie outside the turnstiles, and it's hard to imagine a tower of supermodels cracking open the tinnies on a 6-hour megabus up the M1 for an away game. But that doesn't mean the industry is immune to the charms of a garish, synthetic, slogan-emblazoned scarf, slung over a cashmere Prada coat or paired with a mini kilt, beret, knee-high Argyle socks and some platform loafers, writes British Vogue's fashion features editor and Arsenal fan Ellie Pithers in a piece titled, "Leave My Football Scarf Alone," for the Financial Times. A sweatshirt with Gucci proudly emblazoned on the front isn't dissimilar to a soccer club's crest, as we increasingly communicate our ideals through the brands we wear, suggests fashion journalist Callum Gordon in Garage magazine. To the fashion world, football is a subculture based on an unknown symbolic system, an untamed exotic other. The same thing could be easily said of Russia. Tribalism and eye-catching design are certainly factors to account for in fashion's football obsession, but there is also the appeal of the rougher, almost exotic world of football culture. It goes hand in hand with the continuous fetishization of working-class looks. To the fashion world, football is a subculture based on an unknown symbolic system, an untamed exotic other. This is even more relevant in the light of this summer's World Cup, as the same thing could be easily said of Russia. Fashion designer Gosha Rubchinsky, almost single-handedly responsible for the rise of the post-Soviet aesthetic in fashion since 2015, has worked with the football in his last 3 ready-to-wear collections, which also turned out to be his brand's last before switching to a different distribution mode. Rubchinsky's shows in Kaliningrad, St. Petersburg and Yekaterinburg were parts of an ambitious collaboration with Adidas. There were Adidas tracksuits in emerald green and neon pink, and football-style jerseys spelling out and football and Adidas in Cyrillic, sported on the runway by boys with a physique similar to that of a small-town Russian football fan, but stylized for the Western gaze. From Gosha Rubchinsky's FW17 lookbook, Gosha Rubchinsky's SS18 collection. Moving on from the catwalk to the football arena, Gosha Rubchinsky's appeal in Russia remains limited to fashion-conscious youth. The same cannot be said of Adidas. The history of Russia's obsession with the 3 stripes dates back to the 1980 Olympics, when the label provided kits for the USSR team. Adidas was one of the first global brands to become available behind the Iron Curtain, associated with the consumerist promises of the West. From Soviet men who proudly wore Adidas trainers to the theater to semi-criminal suburban dwellers clad in black Adidas tracksuits, the label plays a crucial part in the image of Russian masculinity. This history, combined with that of football violence and racism in Russia, produces an alienating image of Russian football fans, but it is the kind of image that, as crazy as it might seem, is all too attractive to the world of contemporary fashion. For the 2018 World Cup, Adidas has tapped into Soviet history. The Russia home kit directly derives from the classic 1988 USSR equivalent. The shirt is bright red with 3 white stripes on the shoulders, a white V-collar and, most noticeably, a white brand from the outside chest around the upper sleeve to the outside of the upper back. There's a 2-headed eagle on the left side of the chest and Adidas logo on the right, both somehow tokens of Russianness. The kit is completed with white shorts and tricolor socks spelling out Russia over red. Spartak Moscow midfielder Denis Glushikov models Adidas' Russia home kit for the 2018 World Cup. Adidas provide kits for the Soviet Union football team in the 1980s, the USSR female handball team at the 22nd Summer Olympic Games. Image, Ryan under a CC license. The neutral gray kit of the Olympic athletes from Russia at the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang. A more subtle look. The 2018 away shirt is white with a pattern of small gray squares, has a blue crew neck, blue sleeve cuffs and 3 blue stripes on the shoulders. This one doesn't scream Russia as much as the other one. The color, perhaps, is key. The bright shade of red is associated with Soviet sporting achievements, a crucial element of the Cold War confrontation. In the Russian mindset today, the performance of their compatriots at global sports events is still very much connected to notions of pride, prestige and lost grandeur, the spiritual Soviet heritage which is very hard to let go of. Perhaps it makes sense to look back at another widely discussed Russian sports kit, the one worn at the 2018 Winter Olympics. Due to doping allegations, Russian athletes competed wearing a neutral gray uniform which bore no flags nor crest of the Russian Federation. The bright red track pants with 2 stripes were perhaps the most Russian element of the uniform, taking the place of the usual bold Russia across the chest, or the Bosco Nakloma-style flowers of previous years. The lack of direct embellishment or national reference captures the tension between the value of individual sporting achievements and the greater cause of the home country's grandeur. In the end, what do we see when we look at sports kits? We see hopes and aspirations, history, collective memory and current affairs, written all over a seemingly simple football shirt. Share on Facebook, share on Twitter, share on LinkedIn, share via email.